Okay, so let's talk about Pakistan, because something huge is happening there. We're looking at a $300 billion crypto market that's just exploding. But here's the catch. It's almost all happening in the shadows. This is the story of a nation at a really critical crossroads, trying to balance the immense promise of a digital gold rush against the very real dangers of an unregulated frontier. All right, let's dive right into the headline number, the big one. According to the latest Chainalysis Global Adoption Index, Pakistan has shot up the ranks to become number 3 in the entire world for crypto adoption. And just so we're clear, that's a massive leap of 6 spots in just 1 year. Incredible. So you gotta ask, what is fueling this incredible explosion? Well, on one hand, you have this staggering $300 billion peer-to-peer market. That's a massive economic opportunity, right? But on the other hand, it's a market that's almost completely unregulated, operating in the shadows and just packed with risk. This is the central conflict we're going to break down right now. All right, let's break this whole thing down. First, let's talk about the promise, the upside. Why is everyone so incredibly excited? Well, it really does look like a digital gold rush. And the numbers? Wow, they are just staggering. I mean, the scale here is just immense. We're talking about over 40 million active crypto wallets in Pakistan. To give you some perspective, that's a huge chunk of the nation's internet users. This isn't some niche hobby for a few tech guys anymore. This is mainstream adoption. And man, is it happening fast. And what's actually in those 40 million wallets? Well, get this. An estimated $20 to $25 billion in digital assets. We're not talking about pocket change here. This is a significant slice of wealth that's finding a new home on the blockchain. And all of this activity, all these people, are fueling this massive peer-to-peer or P2P trading market. We're talking about an estimated annual volume of, wait for it, $300 billion. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that is nearly the size of Pakistan's entire official GDP. It's all happening person to person, mostly outside of the traditional banking system. Now, this is where the story gets really fascinating. The data from Chainalysis shows this isn't just one kind of growth. Just look at this. Pakistan is number 2 in the world for grassroots adoption. That tells you this is a real movement, driven by everyday people, not just big money institutions. But at the same time, look here, those bigger players are jumping in, with institutional activity also ranking at number 3. It's like a movement that's firing on all cylinders. So the government sees all this happening, and, they're starting to make their move. They've set up a new regulatory body, the Pakistan Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, or PVVARA. They're inviting global exchanges to come set up shop, and they're even setting aside 2,000 megawatts of energy specifically for Bitcoin mining. You combine that with a pilot for a digital rupee and a young, massive internet-savvy population of 220 million, well, you have all the ingredients for a crypto powerhouse. But, and this is a big but, for all this incredible promise and excitement, there are some really serious warnings hiding just beneath the surface. The unregulated nature of this whole boom brings with it some significant risks. Okay, so let's flip the coin and look at the other side, the peril. What are the major risks that everyone, from the government all the way down to individual investors, is now staring down? And this right here really lays out the central conflict perfectly. The government's vision is a secure, regulated crypto hub that attracts foreign investment. But the reality on the ground? It's a completely different story. Unregulated trading is king, scams are on the rise, and there are serious concerns that crypto is being used for illicit money transfers, basically a high-tech version of old informal systems like Hawala and Hundi. This huge gap between the vision and the reality is where all the danger lies. So the key takeaway here, the thing you really need to understand, is that the official framework is just struggling to keep up. PVRA's new rules, they're still waiting for parliamentary approval. Not a single crypto exchange, foreign or domestic, has an official license yet. The international watchdog, FATF, is still worried about terror financing. And the state bank is still telling commercial banks not to touch crypto. It's like they're trying to build the tracks while the train is already hurtling down the line at full speed. So, as you can imagine, this high-stakes situation has lit a fire under the country's top financial thinkers. Let's listen in on the key voices shaping this whole conversation. So, in one corner, you've got advocates like Bilal Ben Saqib, who's the chairman of the Pakistan Crypto Council. His argument is pretty clear, and he puts it this way. The digital asset future belongs to nations that regulate to empower. He sees Pakistan's number 3 adoption rank not as a risk, but as a launchpad to become the next crypto hub. maybe even the next Dubai. But in the other corner, pushing back hard, is Shabar Zaididi, the former head of Pakistan's tax authority, and he is deeply, deeply skeptical. He basically says flat out that Pakistan cannot regulate virtual currencies with the system they have now. For him, it's just a new, high-tech alternative to the traditional halala system for informal money transfers, which makes it a complete nightmare for regulators.
So, you've got these two powerful, completely opposing views clashing. Where does Pakistan go from here? What does that road ahead even look like?
You know, when you boil it all down, the entire road ahead seems to hinge on one single organization, PVARA. Like we mentioned, this is the brand new body that has the monumental task of licensing exchanges, enforcing anti-money laundering rules, and somehow building a regulated ecosystem from scratch.
And that, right there, leaves us with the final, absolutely critical question for Pakistan. With approvals still pending, can the regulators at PVRA actually build the necessary guardrails faster than the risks of this wild market can grow? The answer? Well, it's not just going to determine the future of crypto in the country. It's going to shape the financial future for millions and millions of Pakistanis.